Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. This is Dylan with Tucson Future Classics, and that is our lightly modified 6-speed manual 2020 Volkswagen Jetta R-Line.
It's Brian Field with Tucson Future Classics. I'm here with Dylan. We're doing our little DVD commentary on this one. It's 2020. It's the R-Line. It's a Jetta. It's a 6-speed manual. It's got lowering springs. It's very tastefully modded. So we don't like to sell modded stuff for the most part, but I found this one up in Phoenix, went through it, hooked it up to Diag, saw that it was a one owner, no accidents. Saw the extent to which the original owner seemed to really like it. And once we get into the interior, you'll see why I really bought it, because it's got a super light leather interior, which we need right now. That's what Tucson needs right now, is a light leather interior. Yeah. But Dylan is going to get into, we brought it to the local speed shop, had them kind of go through and let us know what modifications had been done, and if those modifications had been done properly, as we go around the back and see that 4-port exhaust, that Borla exhaust. Yeah, we did a fair bit to this. The big thing was the clutch. Maybe Derek will pop in here and talk about what a pain in the dick this was to do a clutch. But we put 700 miles on it since we did the clutch, just because we wanted it to seat properly, and we didn't want the new owner to have to deal with the break-in period on that. But Dylan, you want to talk about the mods a little bit?
Sure. So doing a fair bit of digging on this once we got it. That badge I just panned down from when we were going to look at the Borla catback exhaust system on this is a Unitronics badge. There it is. Sent the VIN over to Unitronic themselves, and they confirmed this had a Unitronic Stage 2 91 octane tune done on it by a performance shop up in Phoenix.
I've seen those badges before, and I always thought they said like TDII.
Nope.
Something. No,
Unitronic Stage 2.
Yeah, which it looks nothing like anything like Unitronic. It looks like,
well,
I don't know what it looks like.
If you have to know.
I guess
it's very exclusive.
Yeah.
But the cool thing with that Stage 2 is the original owner that did this paid a performance shop to do it, and they did it very, very well. Actually, hang on.
Wait. Oh boy.
Yeah. Self-centering center caps. So you can be the coolest dude in the parking lot when you're rolling through to the car show.
Yeah, I paid $200 for those, so enjoy them, people.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
It's a good investment. You're welcome.
I hope so.
But up under that hood, the big deal with this is the mechanicals. So the previous owner did a lot to it, and now that we're under the hood, I can really get into this. Basically, that Unitronic Stage 2 has to have a high-flow 3-inch catted downpipe to complement it. That's the only way Unitronics will sell that tune. So that is that piece of metal we're looking at right now. What that lets the turbo do is breathe better, keeps the EGTs down, and lets the tune be a little spicier. They had an ECS tuning carbon fiber air diverter to direct air into the AEM short ram air intake there. And just the level of quality of work done on this is surprising, knowing modified cars. This was done by a...
I think Dylan's about to talk. Oh no, I muted Dylan. All right, so we can talk. No. I meant like I meant the raw audio.
Right.
Let's go ahead. We can talk about nice big trunk.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah. So this generation Jetta, one of the biggest platforms I've ever built the Jetta on. Mid-size sedan, big trunk on this. Those 60/40 rear seats split and drop with those handles. That is the roadside assistance kit right there, still from VW.
Yeah, nice and clean.
Every Volkswagen ever has the Cargo matte cover on it, which keeps the trunk floor a little bit nicer. And up underneath that, as I lift this up, you'll see the spare tire, the carrier for the spare tire, and that little guy always disappears. That removes the caps from the lug studs on the Volkswagen wheels.
Okay.
And now of note underneath, This is the original AEM dry air intake that came with that. It has been cared for, it has been cleaned a bunch, but you can see the wear on it, so
A little long in the tooth.
I tucked it down there. Next owner is more than welcome to keep it, but I snagged just a simple black Spectre oiled air cleaner up front to keep it clean and make sure it flows as well as
Okay,
possible.
wait. Hey, everybody. Dylan's about to talk.
Climbing into the back of the Jetta here, and this being the most recent generation of the Jetta, this prioritizes interior space more than any generation that came before, and it shows. This perforated black and white V-Tex, they call it leatherette. It's a really heavy-duty vinyl with the perforations for breathability, is super duper nice. You've got your child seat anchors down there, your big top tether anchors up top, and cool enough, both of these rear seats are heated, you know, just in case you get cold down here in the desert. You've got the obligatory armrest with cup holders with, again, in very German fashion, a Red Bull can sized holder there. And if I shut this door and spin the camera around, a ton of gut room, great shoulder room, acres of knee room, and pretty good headroom back here. Now again, I am 6'1", 270 pounds, and that driver's seat is where I sit to film video, so all the way up and all the way back. And I have a ton of room back here. Like, they have really stepped up their game as far as interiors and comfort. Climbing into the captain's seat of the Jetta, I want to show you something cool with the proximity key on this. Car is locked, keys are in my pocket, but my hand, you put your thumb on that line there, it unlocks and opens right up for you. Proximity keys aren't new news, but that is one of the best executed I've seen in a while. Down here on the driver's door before we climb in, storage pockets. This is the same on the passenger side. You get a pocket here and a big water bottle cutout there, which can handle even something as big as this Nalgene bottle, and that is your remote trunk release there. Now, climbing in, clutch pedal down, start button, car's fired up, and wiggle test. All right, we're definitely in neutral now. So moving on to all of your usual controls. Window controls are here. Power mirror controls are there. If you turn that arrow straight down like that, that will engage the heated side view mirrors to help defrost them if you find yourself in colder climes than the Sonoran Desert. And your door locks are up there. Headlight controls are here. You've got the usual stuff: off, auto, your marker lights, your headlights, and if you pull this out, it'll engage those amber colored fog lights up on the nose of the car. Moving straight up from that, one of the nicer aftermarket touches in here is this AEM boost gauge that is actually integrated with a proper mount into the vent here, and it doesn't disturb the airflow from the vent. Very well thought out, very well mounted, and it's not like wiggly or you can't really move it side to side or anything, so it's well mounted and good. And a nice, easy to read, responsible boost gauge. So it shows vacuum, and if you whack it, it'll show boost when it's actually building boost. Moving down here to the wheel, this is the Volkswagen Jetta's R-Line wheel, so unique to this, you get a flat bottom, little R-Line badge, and then everything else is standard fare Volkswagen. So if you've ever driven one of these, you'll know what you're looking at. Your cruise control controls are here, basic on-off, set, resume, speed increase, decrease, and that is for your driver assists, blind spot, traffic, and front assist. Basically the suite of sensors, you can turn them on and off with that. Down below, you've got your volume controls for the infotainment screen. And then over here, all the same usual stuff. So voice activation for the infotainment screen, and these control your center gauge cluster. So you've got a couple menus in here. It's a simple display, but it gives you stuff like your driver assist systems in real time. A compass if you have nav running. Audio for whatever's playing through the vehicle. Telephone does exactly what you think it does. Vehicle status will tell you if there are any vehicle messages like oil change is due, inspection is due, low tire pressure, that kind of stuff. It'll pop up in there. And then the most common one you'll be in is driving data, and that gives you all sorts of good nerdy stuff, like a real-time digital speedometer, average speed since the start of the trip, distance covered, total time of that trip, your estimated range remaining, fuel economy, both historical and instant, as well as the oil temperature, and you can set a speed warning at certain speeds so it'll yell at you if you're speeding. Below that, super simple, outside temperature, odometer, and your trip computer. Other than that, tachometer and temperature is on the left, speed and fuel is on the right. Moving on to that center display screen, Volkswagen kept it very, very simple. These are all the apps you have. Yes, technically you can scroll one screen over, but that just opens up legal notices to cover Volkswagen's butt in case you do something stupid in the car. More importantly, though, radio is AM and FM. Telephone syncs to Bluetooth. Vehicle will show you all the vehicle statuses. Like, it does a system self-check where if, a low battery or some system is not entirely happy, it'll show up here. TPMS sensor, a bigger graphical display, and if you get different tires and want to air them to, like, let's say, make 40 PSI your baseline, you could reset the tire pressure right there and recalibrate the whole system, which is really convenient. You don't need a scan tool to go through and do any of that. Now, data gives you just some more nerdy stuff about the total trips and the fuel economy. This is actually pretty telling. This long-term data is since we got the car. Immediately we had to do a clutch, so we had to put some big long highway runs on it and then kind of thump it to bed in that clutch material without burning up the new disc. So after almost 700 miles driving, 25 hours of runtime, we're still averaging 30.5 miles per gallon, and that's running around locally as well as some long highway blasts. And then consumers just shows what is using fuel and in what quantity that you could change. So this shows, like, climate control is using approximately 1/3 of 1/4 of a gallon per hour. Don't really know why that's there, but it's neat to be able to look at. Now, the most important thing in this whole display is this guy right here, App Connect. With a USB-C cable, you can plug in your devices and do screen mirroring using either Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, or Mirror Link, depending on what your phone likes to use. So that lets your phone be the brain, and this just turns into a display. Climate gives you a visual depiction of what your climate control settings are. However, to use all of those, you go down here. And these are super duper simple. Dial in the temperature you want. Passenger can split their temperature, but if you move the driver's side, it will again adjust them in sync once you synchronize. And then exactly what you'd expect. So where you want it, how hard you want it, and how hot you want it. And this being a modern car with a really potent AC, dial in the temperature you want, set it to auto, and just let it go. This little dot here is actually the internal temperature sensor for the in-cab air temperature. You've got your 6-speed manual transmission here with the Black Forest Industries shift knob and shift gator on it, as well as a short throw shift kit. And this being a Volkswagen, you push down and go over and up to the left to put it in reverse, which brings up your backup camera. Decent resolution. Those lines are pretty well spaced out, so it gives you a pretty good idea of what's going on behind you. Now moving down from that, engine start stop button is right there. You've got a cigarette lighter charge port here, electronic parking brake here, and eco mode can be turned on and off there, which just changes the throttle response and the fueling and spark timing for a more performative drive. Down here in the center console, nothing going on, but a lot of room, so you can really store a bunch of stuff in there. It can eat up most of my arm. And then up above, you've got your automatically dimming rear view mirror with your 3 home buttons down below to program for garage doors, gates, and what have you. A compass up there. And then this is the control for that big panoramic sunroof. So it can run either all the way back, all the way forward. And if you want to, you can just pop it by pushing up to vent. And if you want vent but no sun, that shade slides right over it. Mirrors do exactly what you expect. They illuminate, they go on. Hi, everybody. And you got a little clip for holding business cards or parking tickets or speeding tickets in there if you're so inclined. But let's go for a rip. Leaving out of the parking garage now, I want to show you all, this is one of the easiest manual transmissions because Volkswagen programmed the throttle response where I can have my foot completely off the gas. As I move the clutch, it throttles up automatically to make it super hard to stall. Again, I'm going to see if I can throw the car for a loop here, and I'm going to do that down in second gear. Hear it throttling up. I'm not touching the gas pedal at all. And it just chugs away. Like, really, really good throttle and clutch programming on this to make it difficult to stall. Now I've got all the windows open. Sunroof is cracked. So we're going to hear all the noises. We're mostly looking for brakes and suspension, but you can hear all the pops and crackles, and we're going to make some little turbo-y noises chug-a-lugging along here. Borla, full catback exhaust, just enough of the turbo whistle. This is a very, very fun and performative car to drive. Knock it back down into first, give it a blip. Again, throttle programming on this, great. You blip that pedal and it'll bring the revs straight up to where they need to be. And let's just say we're going to back in right over here. On my blinker. Again, down, into the left. Backup camera comes on. And while the lanes do not move with you, once again, they provide pretty good distance. And I'm going to back in kind of like crap here. But just to show you, like, that distance marker there shows about 6 inches off. If you look in the side view mirror there, same thing, about 6 inches from the vehicle behind us there. So pretty well calibrated, pretty accurate and easy. But let's get some speed into this thing and get out on some real roads. I want to show you a few things out here on the highway that kind of really do make this a user-friendly manual transmission. I'll show you, like right now, I'm in the wrong gear. I'm in 5th gear when I could very easily be in 6th. It tells you right there, not in the 6th, boom. I love that it shows you your gear so you cannot lose track of it. And for cruising, cruise control on, set it down there, dial in the speed you want, and just let it go. Now another fun thing you can do because of that AEM boost gauge is you can see if the vehicle even needs to generate any boost to keep its speed. So on the highway, if you are going for economy, the less boost you make, the more fuel you save, and it's just a fun way to stay more engaged with the operation of the car. But Borla exhaust makes itself a little bit known. But sitting here, like 70 miles an hour, humming along, cruise control set. Those SolarWorks S1 coilovers do a really good job of firming up the ride without making it crashy. Like some of these expansion joints can be rough on a poorly modified suspension. This is very, very much not that. And pop cruise control off. Just really quick, do a little bit of knee steering and shifting, show you the blip. So if I'm going to drop from 6th to 4th, right? Out of 6th, blip throttle, 4th, and it will, one quick tap will automatically blip the RPM to where they need to be to make that easy downshift. So for more sporty driving, it does make heel towing your shift real easy. Like watch this. Blips down into 3rd while my other foot is still on the brake. It's a great system, super user friendly, while still being really, really engaging to drive. Sitting here, cutting through a work zone, so cruise is set at 65 because I don't want to break too many laws. But 6th gear, cruise control, eco mode, and that's just showing the real-time fuel consumption. If we were to go back here to the average fuel economy, we'll see that even with almost 2 full hours of idling, the economy is actively climbing quickly with this highway run. Now, the only problem with that is you can drive it really efficiently, but sometimes you don't want to. And it's really fun to make the engine and the turbo make choo-choo noises. And watching the boost gauge in real time spike as you feed it throttle is pretty darn fun. Back at our lot, wrapping everything up on the 2020 Jetta R-Line 6-speed manual. Now, we've said it a million times in this video already, but I'm gonna say it again. This is an incredibly well modified car, and it makes for a really expressive and theatrical driving experience. It is super engaging while still being remarkably fuel efficient and very, very comfortable. So if you don't want to go through all the trouble of modifying something yourself and enjoying something that comes pre-modded, bought, not built, this thing is going to be the Euro car for you. Now, to come down, check this thing out and see what we've been saying this whole time, follow the link in the description below, or call or text the phone number that's about to be on screen to make an appointment. Can't wait to show this thing off to you, but until then, I've been Dylan. We'll see you soon.